Hey gang, AV here, and welcome to my review of the Boss Fight Studios Vitruvian Hacks Series 1 Serpentess Order the Gorgon Horde figure. Here she is in the packaging. As you can see, she's got no legs. She's a Gorgon. She's got a snake tail for a bottom half of her body, kind of like a Medusa, although Medusa is a separate character in this line. She is an adult collectible. This is her name and her occupation. She's got some very cool character artwork right there. And in case you're wondering, HACS stands for Highly Articulated Character Kit System. What that basically means is that her weapons, armor, and even body parts are interchangeable with other figures in the line. Here she is in the packaging. There is a bag of other stuff in the bottom there. Let's flip it around to see what's on the back. As you can see, she's got a file card. As I've said numerous times already, I'm a big fan of the file cards. It is approximately the same size as a vintage G.I. Joe file card. And it serves the same purpose. Basically, helps flesh out the character, give them an identity, and gives the line a lot more depth. If you would like to read the file card, feel free to pause the video and do so now. Again, I'm a huge fan of these, and I wish more companies did it. Here are other characters available in the line. This is Series 1, and this shows Wave 5, 6, and 7 with some reissues in the middle there. I do have a few of these. I've got some of them up on the channel already. I have others to come, but I will warn you that I did not purchase all the characters in Series 1 like I did with Series 2. I was a lot more picky with this particular series because fantasy is more my thing. Same with military characters. Ancient Greek is cool, but I don't need all the Gorgons and everything, quite frankly. I'm not a huge fan of the Gorgons in general. But that's just me. Actually, I got this figure in their mystery box recently. So I figured I would take her out of the package and show her off since I have her in hand. So without further ado, oh, I almost forgot. There's a QR code that takes you directly to the Boss Fight Studios store. If you wish to use the QR code, you feel free to do so. Or you can purchase this figure and several others. But now, without further ado, let's get her out of the package and see what she's all about. I am going to peel up this one plastic flap on the edge, on the barcode edge here. This is collector-friendly packaging, which I have talked about at length on my reviews. It's a good and it's a bad thing. And I'm not going to waste any time with it in this review, though. So, anyhow, let's look at her accessories first before I get her out of the package. She has a bag of accessories neatly tucked down here. Let's dump the bag out and see what we got. Alright, not a whole lot going on in there. Basically, she's got her Gorgon snake helmet. If you look, it's in the shape of a snake, complete with fangs and a jaw that slips over her head, with the snake tail going down the back. Very good detail on these, although it does kind of hinder articulation a tiny bit. And this snake tail, believe it or not, is a separate piece. So if you're not careful, this can break off. Kind of cool. She has an extra set of hands, which I will go over once I get the figure out. And she has a figure stand, which has 2 foot pegs, but since she has no feet, this is going to go in a spare parts bin for use with other figures. So, what else does she have? She has 2 identical swords. Painted blue and purple. Not too bad. As a matter of fact, it's a transparent purple plastic paint with blue painted hilts. So that's pretty cool. You can see it is see-through. Kind of cool. And let's get her out of the packaging. As you can see, her armor is also transparent. She's got a very faint pink on her scales there. So she's actually got a lot more color than initially obvious in the packaging. Looks like she's got a tint of pink on her arms and whatnot too. Decent reptilian head sculpt there with scales. Kind of cool. Alright. Here is the helmet on her, so you can get a look at that. So it looks pretty cool. I think she definitely looks better with the helmet on. And the swords in her hands. Fit rather well. Alright, let's get on to our articulation, because as you can see, she's got quite a bit of it. Alright, so... Ooh, she's really stiff there. Had to crack her loose. Okay. So her head is on a barbell joint, which allows her to look down and up, rock her head side to side, and it should allow for a little front and back motion. Just slightly. Alright. Her arms on a ball joint, which allow her to go up about 360 degrees. She can raise her arms about that high, which is excellent. There's nothing at the bicep. Her elbows, I gotta see where the joint is, can do a 90 degrees up and almost 90 degrees down. They do 360 degrees at the elbow. Her wrists are on a peg. They can do 360 degrees. This particular set will fold down and up. And the extra set she comes with, once we plug them in, will go in and out. So I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'm a big fan of the fact that they include both sets of hands to really get a more natural pose depending on how you want her to hold her weapons or her other accessories, whatnot. She does have an ab crunch, although it is entirely hindered by her armor. She does have waist articulation, which is a ball joint, which, as you can see, can go full range of motion there. Her lower body is covered with consists entirely of barbell joints on the inside. I don't know if you can see how much of that you can see. I've actually had one of these figures apart, so take my word for it. It's nothing but barbell joints in there. And the body itself is just a very pliable, rubbery plastic, which is very cool, and it helps her to stand on her own, believe it or not. And she's got articulation at every segment, all the way down to her tail. So I can demonstrate that for you right there on camera. They are ball joints. They can go in any which direction. It's very posable. And I did have one of these break on me not too long ago, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful with these. Oh, there you go. See? It's just the barbell joints. That's all she's made out of. Let's get that clicked in there. Still very cool design, very good, very cool engineering on these figures. They're just not, they're not my cup of tea, that's all. I just had you balance without even trying. Now you're gonna give me a hard time. All right. So there you go. She is standing on her own, if a little lopsided. Here she is for a size comparison. This is a standard 4-inch G.I. Joe action figure, modern G.I. Joe action figure. As you can see, she's more or less the same size. I mean, she is definitely in scale with this particular figure. And here she is next to a vintage G.I. Joe action figure. Obviously, from head to tail, that she is going to tower over them. But when you have her more or less standing up, she's roughly about the same size as the 4-inch figure. And she could still fit in with the vintage line as well, in my opinion. There is one or two male examples of the Gorgons, although they're mostly female characters. There have been one or two male characters made so far, and those characters have been made as customs for Globulus from the G.I. Joe movie. And that is something that I myself am going to be doing. I actually do have one of those male bodies waiting in my spare parts bin for that specific reason. I'm just waiting on the extra parts I need. But I'm going to utilize her tail segments, I think, for that. If you watched my unboxing video, you know I have 2 of this figure. I don't need 2 of this figure. I'll use one for my shelf and the other one for customization. But the modular nature of these figures makes them perfect just for that reason. So, anyhow, this has been my review of the Serpentess Order Gorgon Horde action figure. I don't think I'm saying that right, and I don't think I ever will. But anyway, if you like this video, check out my channel. If you like what you see there, then please subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.